All right, so let's take a look at where we left off last time. Just briefly, we're going to go to our main menu here. I'm going to press play. You can see we have a start game button. And I can select any one of these characters and the character appears. And now I can move my character around. It looks like we're going to still need a little bit of finessing. So I kind of like to leave that stuff in there. So just make sure you select all three of these. And all of them have freeze rotation locked on Z. And that should remember it for all of them. And now when we press play, it shouldn't be an issue. And you're going to have to go in also and just make sure that with all three of these, you adjust the jump force and just make it like, I forgot what we put it at 5 or something. So let's go in here and yeah, so 5 is kind of good. And part of game design is, you might maybe move those pieces, those wall pieces over just a little bit. And so they barely make the jump and they have to get a health bar or something to jump. Maybe we'll build in a double jump mechanic. It just depends on how far we want to go or fine tune this project. I always tend to, towards the end of the project, they have this, it's pretty well known saying that like, you want to judge someone's work not by the 90%, but what they put in the last 10%. And I'm totally guilty of sort of dropping off around that 10%. And I have to force myself to get through it. Anyway, enough chitter chatter. I know you want to get to coding and working on the game. Today we're going to talk about non-playable characters, pretty much enemies or characters you talk to. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create another folder and I'm going to call this NPC. And that stands for non-playable character. And I'm going to right click and just go ahead and hit import new asset. If you're taking a course with me, I'm going to have the image inside our learning management system. If you're just kind of following along on the internet, you can use your own drawing, or I'm going to try to put in the description like a GitHub repo where you can just pull down all this art. I suggest you just do stick figures and just try to learn to draw on your own. If you're a game designer, then definitely pull stuff from the asset store or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to pause the video, and we've already imported this, so I'm just going to click import new asset. And I'm going to navigate to the folder and then bring in my character. So I'm doing the whole thing in sort of this kind of 1950s art style. I mean, this one's a little bit more rendered. I'm probably going to dial it back and then just maybe make a single band of color. But for now, it's just a similar style to the other characters. And this character here is just going to be our mushroom enemy. So let's go ahead and drag this character into our scene. You can see he's pretty big. And then I'm going to grab one of our playable characters, which is this, like maybe I'll just grab Sally for now and I'll drop her in. And respectively, let me go ahead and hide CSS. My mushroom dude is quite a bit larger than Sally. You could see, and I'm kind of like I'm sort of inspired by Mario Brothers at this project as for platformers. So I'm going to make him kind of small. And I'm actually going to repurpose this character, and we'll create a dialogue system in one of the tutorials where Sally can walk up and something will pop up. So this could be the evil one is with red hats, and then the good ones have different colored hats like green or pink or something. And they probably won't look angry. So this is sort of an evil guy. I'm going to have him move between waypoints. That's another thing we're going to talk about. Probably in the next video, I'll actually do the scripting of it. So I like the size of this guy, and I need to clean up his art a little bit more. I still have some artifacting, and that's what that orange is. So I'll just do that in a separate video. But overall, or not separate video, I'll do that on my own time. I'll just erase that out. But if you see any weird artifacting like that, it just means that you still have like some dots from your pencil when you're drawing, or your Wacom tablet pencil, or I like to draw a lot when I'm with my family watching TV on my iPad. So a lot of it is just like me touching with my finger or hitting the pen. Anyway, you probably don't need to hear all that, but just kind of fun to hear it. So anyway, back in this art folder here, I have NPC and I have PCs. Remember I made this prefab folder? I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to create another folder, and I'm going to call this prefabs. And then these are prefabs for my NPC. Now, if you work at some studios, they might even just have one big folder called prefabs, and inside of it, they have NPCs and PCs. I like to do this micro thing where I just keep duplicating because it gets me to where I need to go faster. Anyway, here's my mushroom enemy. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did before where I create an empty game object here. Like really it's just a point. So I'm going to go to create empty, and I'm going to call this mushroom and then underscore enemy. And then I'm going to change this to mushroom art. And just so that I can remember, oh, this is the art. And I'm going to drag this empty game object here to the base of my guy here. I'm going to hit F to focus. It's really just hitting F twice. And just position it there. And I'm going to grab my mushroom art and put it underneath there. Now I have my mushroom enemy. I'm going to go ahead and erase that. And I just want to show you, I'm just going to go into Photoshop because I'm on a desktop recording. I'm going to erase it and I'm going to hit Control S just to show you how those artifacts disappear. All right, so here we are in Photoshop. And like you can see here that you can barely see where my pen had touched the tablet. But I'm just going to go pretty big here and just hit E for enemy, or E for erase, sorry. And I'm just erasing almost nothing. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S to save it. So I think I got it all. And hit Control S to save it. And when I jump back into Unity, you'll see it updates. And it got pretty much everything except this little thing here. And let's jump back into Photoshop really quick. And that's what I mean. Like sometimes you don't even see those little fine points that you're hitting. So just understanding, like cleaning up is also something there we go. See, now it's all cleaned up. So just showing you how to do that if that was helpful at all. All right, so here's my mushroom enemy. And I'm going to grab this enemy now. And I'm just going to place it inside this prefabs folder. And now I could delete both Sally and mushroom enemy out. And when I bring this mushroom enemy in, you can see it retained all of that information because we created a prefab. And we could also click this and we can reset the pivot position. But to be honest with you, I think what we're going to do is sometimes you could create a procedurally generated level. That means like it'll create all the ground pieces randomly to build out the game for fun. And maybe we'll do that in the next game. But for this one, we're going to just do a lot of placement just to get comfortable with placing and level design. What I'll do is I'll end this video here. And what I'll do in the next video is we'll create the enemy movement script and we'll start looking at how that works.